And an ugly-looking left-handed shot. Great anticipation on that far side by that low defender who took a gamble.
Hopkins 2 out of 16 shots that have connected so far. And now Sims at a good pace taps on the brakes to set up the offense. Couldn't ask for a much better start for Matt Madelon at Princeton.
That's what you hope for this time of year. Dramatic improvement off of a loss.
And illegal procedure going to Hopkins.
He also talked about that being more organized in the middle of the field. Those type of mistakes and turnovers and then penalties.
The flag is down. The Princeton sideline was barking about some action at midfield, and Hopkins will get the benefit here.
You got Courier for an offsides violation.
Stanwyck working against Goldstein. And a backup for Hopkins again. And here we will have the flag.
2-5 is offside, 30 seconds.
16-2, the offside against Courier. That's one spot. Matt Madelon said, look, we cannot have penalties today because of the success of Hopkins' EMO at 8 for 12 this year.
When you're the underdog, you've got to win the hustle stats, and you have to avoid silly penalties and silly turnovers. An illegal procedure in the substitution box, you have to run a clean substitution box, and then you can't go offsides.
Frazier here is so dangerous on their man up. The whole unit has been very strong.
Look for Princeton to throw some junk at this group. They're shutting off Shaq Stanwyck now behind the goal.
Barr, one pass. Blaisdell goes down to knock it aside. And Hopkins will have it once again. Jake Fox couldn't hit the mark. Out high, Frazier discarded it. Fox caught up in the wash. Nice work by the Princeton defense so far.
This is where Stanwyck can absolutely rip you apart.
Sizing it up. Stanwyck picks aside. Stanwyck, Blaisdell is there. Princeton survives the man-up opportunity for Hopkins. Caputo on the clear, successful.
Goalie is on fire right now. Blaisdell's got 6 stops of all sorts of varieties. That one off the toe, an earlier one off the stick. His defense has been courageous in front of him, blocking 3 or 4 shots. And they're holding him off on the defensive end. Now the question is, can the Tigers find something here?
At some point, the volume of offense seems to be overwhelming, but it has not happened yet.
Coach Madelon talked about complementary lacrosse. Offense, defense, special teams.
Nice work to deny Durbin. They'll go again from behind. Sowers on Rapine. Sowers scores!
That can be demoralizing, Jason, for the Blue Jays. Because you basically took Princeton's head off with headshot after headshot after headshot after headshot. And Blaisdell just stood there and took it. And at the other end, the freshman going against his former high school teammate schools him. He takes him back to upper Dublin. You see the quickness. It reminds me of Joey Sankey of North Carolina. That sudden, that fast twitch, the ability with your feet to plant, stutter step, and then go.
He's the passer that came in here. He scored now a couple times in this game. 402 assists in high school, the most ever. And now
that's going to set up some assists down the road, though, because Hopkins now may have to send a double team there earlier than they wanted to. They left Rapine on the island with him, and so far Sowers is dominating that matchup. So Petramala has to say, well, do we go early? Do we double him and make him a passer?
But don't you stick to the game plan? At what point do you make that change?
That's why I'm up here and Coach Petro's downstairs.
Might be the wind chill of 30 or so, too. It's a good idea. Tinney. Blaisdell again up to the task. 8th save for Blaisdell. And here comes Courier and the offense. Well, Courier's willing certainly to go end to end for Princeton. What a start for the Tigers. Hopkins 2 out of 20. And Hardy is wide. Sowers is back there. Big dude, Adam Hardy.
He stands out. I mean, when they warm up, and Princeton's not a large team overall compared to many, but Hardy looks like a
List Price,
looks like a basketball player.
He is a 6'6", 225 hoss. Hardy still with the ball after Crawley tried to manipulate it out of him. Now the screen from Hardy, trying to free up Courier. And that shot whistled wide by Ultimus.
Hardy sets a devastating screen there. Courier runs off his shoulder left-handed.
It's like trying to get around a grandfather clock. Screen this time from Sowers. That was a big lick for McBride. Courier gave it up. Ultimus jumps into it. And a backup for Sims in Princeton. Now a long offensive possession for the Tigers. Trying to help out the defense a little.
Ultimus with a nice looking jab step and then go to counteract the momentum of the defender.
Courier soaks in a couple of checks from Rapine and gives it up behind for McBride. McBride takes a hit, gets in front, and this one goes sailing to the sideline, back up for Princeton.
Great trail check. Great trail check on McBride as he executes an inside roll and gained inside leverage.
Hardy against Crawley, and he'll give that up to Sims. Had Kuhn against him, the pole. Sims spins and scores! Early hat trick for Sims. Princeton looks silent offensively against Hofstra. Not the case today.
The ability to set up your strength, push left-handed, roll back right.
NBA Sunday Showcase. Warriors-Knicks, Sunday on ABC.
Whoever said that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line never said anything about the quality of the ride. With Suburban Transit Coach USA, you could charter a luxury motor coach for all of your special occasions. From your wedding day to corporate events, sightseeing, trips to the casino, sporting events, and concerts. Enjoy free amenities on board, things like Wi-Fi, restrooms, and movies. So to book your charter anywhere in the US or Canada, just contact our sales office today.
I'm eating a croissant sandwich made with 100% butter.
A croissant wish with 100% butter.
Oh, the way she said it was a lot prettier.
Made with 100% butter, it's the new croissant sandwich. Get 2 for just $4, only at Burger King.
Umbrellas! You need one of these.
You wouldn't put up with an umbrella that covers you part way. So when it comes to pain relievers, why put up with just part of a day? Aleve, live whole, not part.
I want to give it to you for half off.
Boy, some big games this weekend in college lacrosse, and an NBA Friday doubleheader for you as well. 7 Eastern on ESPN. LeBron and the Cavs against the Hawks. That's at 7 Eastern. Then Anthony Davis and the Pelicans against Kawhi Leonard and the Spurs. NBA Friday, presented by State Farm. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
Quite a day here on campus.
It is. 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Lacrosse, basketball, hockey, and playoff-like atmospheres in at least 2 of the 3, and maybe this one here too.
Basketball's on the U following our game.
It is right after
right
us.
over there. We can see the gym through the woods.
It's what, about 1,000 feet away? Big game too. 12-0 Princeton, 10-2 Harvard in the Ivy League. Princeton trying to clinch the Ivy, and this whistle goes against Hopkins. Illegal procedure. 7-2 now, the face-offs. Princeton leading 5-2. Hopkins won last week 13-5 despite winning only 7 out of 21 face-offs. And with the advantage today. That hockey game later is an ECAC playoff series as well. Princeton against Colgate.
See a little matchup change now by Johns Hopkins. See Rapine 12 and blues on Courier, and they put Fields down low against Sowers.
Here's Sims trying the short stick this time. Sowers has to go high for it. Rolling in front off the pass, and a score with a flag coming down as well. McBride buried it.
Talk about creating offense. Sowers turns the corner. I said it earlier, he's going to become a passer because of his ability to run by guys. The Blue Jays send the adjacent double team. They get soft inside. It's a little tic-tac-toe. McBride converts. It's become Mr. Consistent for Princeton after a kind of a non-factor freshman year. He's rattled off some big-time production, and Sowers picks up the assist. Tinney now has a seat in the penalty box, so a potential man-up face-off for Princeton.
It's a cross-check against Tinney. His 3rd penalty of the year in 5 games, and now Princeton with a possible man-up chance at 6 out of 14 for the year. 6-2 Princeton. A lot of time to go, but it's a minute up. Now there's some discussion over whether or not it's 1 minute or 2 minutes. It is officially a 1-minute penalty.
Not all face-offs are created equal. This is a big one.
3 goals in the last 3:34 in our game. Courier goes to work against Medeiros, and it's picked up by Hardy and Princeton. Timeout, Princeton. That is a rambunctious sideline right now.
They're believers, and they're getting it done with great energy plays, critical face-off win, blocking shots, goaltending. Blaisdell has been beyond sensational. Last year he had 20 in this matchup. He's been great this year. As I said earlier, 60% or higher in all 3 games. He's got 8 saves so far. His positioning has been very good. He's quick. I like the widening of his stance. He's caught a couple breaks, but he's made his own breaks also. In the past, he's been a goalie who's kind of ridden the roller coaster of good game, bad game. He's been plagued by inconsistency.
Adelon told us when we talked to him yesterday that the main thing was Blaisdell this season is now stopping the shots that he should stop. He's not letting a couple by that shouldn't go by, and that allows for streaks like the one he's on.
That's the day and age I think these goalies are living in, where shooters have such velocity that they can hit corners that nobody's going to save. And so you can't get down on those. My guess with Blaisdell is he got down on himself at times, and then, as you said, let the easy ones in. You have to flush it clean, totally hit the reset button after you give up a goal and start over from scratch like you have a shutout.
I want to flesh that out a little bit, though. How much harder is it to play goalie in this day and age?
Tremendous. I mean, I hopped in the goal on Wednesday at Duke University and had Kark shoot on me. And just the velocity now and the stick technology allowing, you know, tremendous location and accuracy. It's a different game from the one I played.
See some of that footage coming up on games throughout the season. Out in front, and once again, McBride wrapping on the doorstep. 7-2 Princeton.
Terrific coaching from Coach Madelon and his staff to call timeout. They get organized off the face-off win. Courier carries. You see Riley Thompson peels off the crease. And then once the defense gets rotating, they're vulnerable on the backside. 91 in blue, Fields originally is at the upper portion defensively. He's got to get down the backside and crash that pipe and beat the ball there. He was late, an accurate feed, and an extra man goal.
7-2 Princeton, 6:06 second quarter. 4 goals in 4 minutes exactly in this game. For the Tigers, who now lead by 5. Tinney couldn't pluck it, and it's taken away by Courier.
Tell you, Courier, the best ground ball midfielder in the nation, had more points last year than Sergio Perkovic and had 5 times the amount of grounders. Perkovic, a first-team All-American out of Notre Dame, but Courier's impact is everywhere.
Came into this game the ground ball leader for Princeton with 21 of them. 3 straight face-offs for the Tigers now. That pass deflected. Sims recovers. Sims is open, and he whistles it high.
Now this is danger zone for Dave Petromal and the Blue Jays because you withstood that, you know, the first assault from Princeton, the 3-0 lead, and you fought back 3-2, but now you're just getting flat-out outplayed.
Is it energy? What is it?
It's a little bit of energy. It's execution. Now you're seeing some frustration a little defensively. You got to watch it. You get chippy.
That push will go against Hopkins. Look like Fields.
It's the first time this season that this team has looked at a deficit like this. As you said earlier, 4-0. Nice wins over Navy, Loyola, and at North Carolina.
And they've played in close games. They've played in blowouts. They've experienced a good deal of what you can't experience early in the season.
But this is new. Down 7-2.
Sims! One more time. Four goals for Austin Sims, the junior out of Fairfield.
5 straight in the second quarter for the Tigers. Crisp ball movement, just a blown assignment from Princeton. You have 2 Hopkins defenders to the right of your screen right there. They're covering the same guy inside, Sowers. Nobody's on 18, and is anybody shooting as well as Austin Sims right now? 5 straight goals in the second quarter.
Boy, they glad to have him back. 8-2, Princeton with the lead. Don't forget, Saturday night, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. We have a basketball game you may have heard of. Saturday primetime, presented by AT&T. The rematch from Chapel Hill, number 17 Duke, number 5 North Carolina, to close out the regular season. Sonic blockbusters streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Tell you what, Austin Sims today has had definitely a career day.
As I said earlier, this kid was captain of the USA Under-19 team, where he played more of a defensive role. But his game continues to grow, and he continues to improve. He was a little nicked up earlier this season. He just can't miss today. He's getting to good spots, high percentage spots, directly in front of the goal. And when you do that, the goal is bigger. It's a true 6x6. When you settle for weak angle shots, it's not as big. That time, I think he's got the goalie, Jerry Logan, thinking now, because he has sprayed it around pretty good.
What is your poison that you pick right now if you're Hopkins defensively, and who you put the pole on?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. Well, Courier has to be polled, whether he's at attack or midfield, and Sims certainly needs to be polled, and Sowers and McBride. Those are the 4 main threats that you have to neutralize. this, you know, Coach Petramalo now calls timeout here. This is gut check number 1 of this young season. You know, and you see Coach shaking his head, It says it all. Would we be ready to play? But we found out maybe not so. But now they're just flat out being outplayed, Jason. They're not winning the faceoffs like they did in the first quarter. Their defense is late offensively. They've been careless with the ball. And when they had opportunities, Blaisdell was there and shut them down. So this is the most significant mental, emotional, and tactical challenge they've faced.
And you talked about it with Blaisdell having some saves to fill in those possible gaps in the run. Princeton going away. Hopkins 0 for 8 in second quarter shooting. And another key face-off. Courier knocks it free, and it's picked up by Princeton. 7-5 now, the face-off advantage.
They've made the adjustment in the second quarter. You know, when you go on the road, you have to bring your toughness and you have to bring your defense in any sport. And right now, Hopkins has not brought their defense on the road. They did it a week ago against North Carolina. That's why they won that game. But if you're going to be a consistent road team, you got to bring your D.
Only gave up 5 goals to Carolina. Right now, it's 8-2 Princeton. That's the amount of goals Princeton had in the loss to Hofstra, their first loss of the season. Sims does have the long pole. Spencer on him. Rapine working against Courier. Courier slams on the brakes, gets it in front. Behind the back is wide from McBride, and Princeton will keep. Pretty crisp passing from Princeton with ball movement a key, as we talked about.
It was stagnant against Hofstra. The ball stayed in sticks for 4 or 5 seconds at a time. Today it's 2 seconds and on to the next guy. They're moving up without the ball as well.
Logan down to knock that one aside, but the rebound is good. It's 9-2 Princeton.
Weekly rebound goal brought to you by
Riley Thompson,
the guy who sees it and makes a beeline. Defensively, no box out. This stuff's got to start being taught because we're seeing more and more rebounds because of shot velocity and more high shots. Thompson had his eyes on his goalie. His defender didn't box him out, and he just boom, a little burst to the ball and a finish untouched.
What do you teach if you're going to teach it?
Defensively, you got to teach to box out exactly like basketball. So I sense the shots being taken. I got to get inside position, or I got to take arms, and I got to come down hard on your wrists and your arms.
A shocker here in New Jersey as Courier wins it against Medeiros. What a run Courier's been on. Courier tried to pass it, I believe, and we'll see what the call is on this. It is going to be Princeton ball.
It's not going to go over well.
That looked like a pass, Quint.
I thought he kind of folded his stick over like he was taking a shot, but then I thought it was more of a pass. But
Hopkins, Dave Petramalo on the sideline is rather unhappy and the palms up in frustration, but he's not going to win the argument.
Interesting to see now that if the Tigers continue to press this win streak, or whether they slow it down here under 3 to go.
Sims, and that one's eaten up by Logan. 4th save for the Michigan transfer Logan. Now Hopkins needs a goal in the worst way. Carlini took an illegal check, gave it up, and Blaisdell once again denies the Blue Jays. This one from Kuhn. And we will have the official word on the penalty.
3-1. Cross check.
It's Hardy on the cross check. Blaisdell can do no wrong right now.
Everything's going his way. I mean, that's a shot. He was totally burnt and smoked on that last shot, and it hits you in the foot and kicks out. Some days are just going to be your days. This almost a must-score extra man for the Blue Jays.
This early in the game, you think?
Momentum-wise, yes.
And that's going to be in the crease. Let's see, was he pushed in? No. So Fox in the crease, and Princeton the opportunity to clear. Still 44 seconds on the man up. Sims navigating through traffic across midfield.
That's beautiful. I mean, that's why he's got that role. He comes out of the substitution box to get in the ball, and he's basically a punt returner.
Weaving through to kill some of the penalty, down to 25 seconds, and on that must score, Hopkins is in danger of getting only one shot.
I thought they rushed it. They kind of rushed it. With Stanwyck shut off, they've got a non-natural feeder back there, and I didn't love that decision of jamming the ball into a covered Jake Fox.
You'd like more spacing there?
I'd like more patience and more spacing.
15 shots this quarter for Princeton, a quarter that has been all Tigers. They'll work from behind with Durbin. Feet out in front, Sowers with a deke, and Logan was there, picked up by McBride. Once again behind, and we are going to have a timeout Princeton. Matt Madelon freezes it with 1:03 to go in the first half.
Was that a save? Or did he put that ball on goal? That was an incredible save.
I believe he did.
That was unbelievable. Great example of never quitting as a goalie. Watch the multiple fakes, and he comes back and dives across. Not sure he ever touched that.
Never got a piece of it.
Never got a piece of it. But what he did was distract the shooter. I think Sowers, typically, as a freshman in high school, he's coming up there after the multiple fakes. The goalie's down on the ground. He's put it in the empty net. And all of a sudden, there's Logan right in position. It was an amazing effort to get that shooter to throw the ball outside the goal.
Here's your top 10, and there's a little bit of a switch from...
Well, you know, I gave Hopkins a lot of credit for beating Loyola and North Carolina. I like Denver. You know, this weekend is such a great weekend.
Oh my
Jason.
gosh.
I mean, these games, you've got all sorts of top 10 games. You got Denver, North Carolina. You have Penn State against Penn. You've got Syracuse and Virginia, and you got Maryland and Notre Dame 3 and 4. So this weekend, it's kind of, you know, we march into contention right now.
In a situation like this, you've got all those big games. How do you make sure that, you know, Hopkins is in a different spot in this game, right? It's not one of those marquee games. How do you make sure your team doesn't fall into this 9-2 hole? How difficult is that for a coach?
It's very difficult, and I think in this day and age where the season's now so long, you play big game after big game. You think about Hopkins, you know, this week, dealing with the midterms. This is their travel schedule. Yesterday afternoon, they have film, then a light walkthrough. They go downtown in Baltimore to Sammy's for some wonderful pasta and meatballs and chicken parm, and then they bus ride here. This morning, Coach chose not to do a shoot around. He said that, you know, we're fighting sickness. We've got some guys who are tired. The extra sleep is more beneficial long term.
Yeah, he told us before the game, if I can sneak in 9 hours of sleep one night for my guys in the middle of midterms, I'm going to do that. But right now, Hopkins has not had the energy that you'd like, and the execution certainly. So the man up, exhausted. Timeout Princeton, and the Tigers have the ball with under a minute to go, first half, with Durbin, the sophomore. Sims has had a magnificent first half with 4 goals and a couple of important ground balls too. Durbin trying to fan it out ahead. It was deflected. Bruno got a piece of it. Under 30 seconds to go. Hopkins would love a good sign going into the half. Bruno the bouncer, and that dwindled to Blaisdell. McBride, now Durbin with an opportunity. 10 saves for Blaisdell, and Durbin sinks it. Wow.
You talk about nice hustle by Sims to chase that Bruno ball carrier down in an easy shot, but look at this effort. That is tremendous clock awareness to where you know what, I got to take a chance here. Durbin realizes he's up against time, so he pushes it. He runs with confidence through that defender, and he buries the shot. What a turnaround that play is.
How about that? You go in 9-3 with at least something as a light at the end of the tunnel. Instead, Princeton goes up